Hello there, everybody, and welcome along to round 4 of the 2015 Atlantic Series here at GPVWC. Now, for those eagle-eared among you, or whatever saying that means, I am not Mr. Chuggy Chugwin. No, I am Mr. James Kirkin, a little spice up of the Atlantic Series. Your commentator extraordinaire is currently racing today, so for tonight it is myself on main comms, the delectable Cameron Brewster on cameras as always, and alongside me it's the dream team reunited. It's Mr. Lewis McLeod. Now, Lewis, you have experience in this series. You have driven TSA Racing, have decided not to continue anymore, and it was a spectacular fashion that you went out of the series as well, crashing out in what was a rather destructive Indy Classic 2 weeks ago. We will go over those results because there's a lot to cover there for sure. But welcome along. We're at Fremont Street Circuit in the heart of Las Vegas, and this is a nasty circuit, isn't it, Lewis?
Yeah, I mean, I drove it. Also, hello everyone. I drove it a bit earlier on today just to see what this circuit was all about. A lot has changed since we last actually did a road course race. Obviously, the oval kind of doesn't really count. But the last road course race we did back at Indy Grand Prix, we were on the old version of this mod. This mod has changed. We've got the updated version of this mod. It is, in my opinion, it's actually harder to drive. Especially in traction zones, which is really, really important around this circuit with so many 90-degree lefts and rights. Of course, we're not an oval anymore, but it is a very, very tricky circuit, very easy to get wrong. So it's going to be an interesting one for a lot of the drivers out there to see who's actually going to get it right in qualifying, because if you hit the wall, you get a lot of damage on your car and it becomes very difficult to drive.
So you touched upon the little mod update, and it was a fascinating situation over the past month where we've got 2 R-Factor series running this year. We've got, of course, the Atlantic Series here, World GT, which, of course, returns, little plugger, on the Thursday for round 4 there. And both series had potential mod updates in the past month. World GT has elected to not go ahead with a mod update, as it changes some things. It changes basic physics of the cars, adds stuff like chassis flex, which has some serious implications, of course, and so this isn't what the driver signed up for necessarily. It doesn't really add anything which is bug fixing in that sort of sense, so that stayed the same. The reason why we've moved over to the new mod updates for Atlantic Series, however, is that it does change a very big bug, and though it may not necessarily see much action here today, the drivers can now change tyre compounds within the race, and so it's a big factor here. Will mean that there should be a lot more strategy and very different strategy calls throughout the rest of the season. After this round, we've got 4 more to go. It's crazy to think we're halfway through the year already. So keep an eye out for that in later rounds. But for today, we should be seeing pretty much a one-stop race with the red alternative compound tyres, the faster but shorter-lived ones, and with 34 laps of this Fremont Street Circuit to try and navigate. I'm pretty sure they will enjoy the extra grip, because despite being 39 degrees out on track, the drivers have been finding very little of it, to be fair.
Yeah, I drove it earlier, obviously, as I said, and the one thing that I have to note from that is the track temperature being 39 degrees means so very little, because the tyres, because it's so slow around here, you're not really getting up to much speed. There's only really 2 quick corners on this circuit. The tyres just do not get up to temperature. That's why you're going to see a lot of people struggling with traction. We've just moved over into qualifying, and I'm sure you'll see this, especially on their first flying laps. You'll see a lot of people struggling with traction out of a lot of the turns because their tyres just aren't up to temperature. It may take actually 3 or 4 laps to get the tyres up to temperature. I don't think anyone's going to be doing a run for that long, though, because you're going to be destroying your fronts a bit too much, and they'll be starting to drop off after that time. So it's going to be a very interesting session, this one. Of course, this is Q1 moving on into the Fast 6 after this, as everyone leaves the pit lane. It's just going to be who can get that good lap out straight away.
So I think Mr. Cameron, we can have a little go on board with always keep an eye on it. We'll go on board when we are going to start a full flying lap to give you an idea of just how tight this circuit is. Right here then, so let's see if we can go turn 6 here. As I say, we'll go for a full on board. To go through the grid penalties very early on, I think the two people who... Is Yarly here? No, I think we've only got one driver in the group at the moment who's going to be serving a grid penalty for today. That is Tom van der Voort for Midline Motorsports. He's serving a 10th place. There are 3 other drivers set to take grid penalties, but we only have 19 drivers in the room. Maybe a little bit of faith lost in the series. We certainly hope we'll see more coming through in the 15 minutes as we are now going on board with Gomez. Down this extremely fast turn now. Let us take a little trip off Vermont Street Circuit then, heading through into double apex at turns 1 and turn 2 now. It's a little bit like an opposite Suzuka. This tightens in, a little bit of extra runoff there so we can get around turn 3 here, and then up the hill we go into a nasty section in my opinion here. Turn 4. This is a series of 7 90-degree right-handers. You get a little bit of a respite here on the straight up to turn 5, but then it is one right-hander, 90 degrees, followed by turn 6, another 90-degree right-hander is right, and then left straight again into turn 7, a 90-degree left. Then we have another 90-degree left-hander of turn 8, and then right again into another 90-degree right-hander at turn 9. And then we have a little bit more of an opening up of the track, turn 10 here, another 90 degree, and then the final 90 degree of this section, turn 11. And the next section here, ladies and gentlemen, is frightening. Up ahead, a chicane, taking flat out, turns 11 and 12. You hardly notice it down the track, around turn 13, round turn 14, and that is your lap as Pedro Gomez, who was in contention to win the Indy Classic 2 weeks ago, posts a time of a 150.1. We've seen 130s in free practice, however, so times are surely to come down from there.
Yeah, the times will go a little bit quicker than that as everyone gets a bit more comfortable as the temperatures come to them. Lars Brugman has been setting the pace all the way through the practice of this, actually going quite a bit faster than everyone else. He's got a bit of traffic on his lap, so I don't think it'll be a too quick lap. He's currently in 7th, but as I said, I don't think this will be a very fast lap from him. But yeah, as I say, there's a crash on those stuff.
There.
Yeah, you've got to watch out for that because obviously with it's 114.2. That is actually a really good lap.
Very good time. Yeah.
The thing to remember with this, as Lars goes up to provisional pole position, is that as a standard GPVWC rule, if you lose a tyre, then you're in problems. You've got to somehow return to the pit lane, because if you don't, then you can't go out again unless you want a grid drop for the next round. So it's going to be a difficult one, especially if someone's going to crash in front of them.
We are now up to 20 drivers as Roy Schrutton enters the room, and while we're just having drivers pumping in the laps round here, perhaps it'd be a nice time to have a little Actually, no, let's wait for warm-up. We'll have something to talk about warm-up then. So, Lars Brugman currently tops the times on a 114.2. Pedro Gomez has improved to a 114.8. The Dre driver into second. Danny Asbury, who's had an interesting start to the campaign, shall we say. A P2, a DSQ, and a retirement. The American up there in third will be looking to get his championship charge back underway. Then Reece Garden for Hinds Motorsport, currently P4, the Australian, which would be a wonderful result for him, even if it is just in qualifying. Reece Brackham P6, goes up to P3, sorry. Sven de Vries going up to P2 as well. So as you can see, the times coming down ever so more. It's definitely one certain characteristic which I love about street circuits. You've got to find a rhythm, you've got to find a groove, get as close to the wall as possible, and that is where you find the time. Nevertheless though, Lars Brugman, he's improved his time even further to 114.0. That is a massive 6/10 gap, which the drivers behind him have to try and overhaul.
Yeah, Ruud Heestbeek, who jumped up from somewhere in the mid-pack, he really hadn't put a good lap in. He's jumped all the way up into the second position, 14.5. No one else has actually gone into the 13s other than Lars in practice, so he's done a comfortable lap to start off with. We've got about just under 10 minutes of this session to go until we go into a quick break before the fast 6 roll out. But at the moment, pretty much everyone is out on track. So although we haven't got too many people here today, they're all out there. So it is going to be pretty busy, but we've got enough room to get some free space around this track.
I'm actually thinking that the drivers, or the 10 drivers who are not currently in this room, is going to be a massive bonus to the guys on track now, surely, because they will have that little extra bit of room. As I noticed Sven de Vries had actually, he'd hit Mike Bell's front wing, or it was one of the Smart Power's front wings anyway. He got a little bit of damage, and I don't know why he's gone round again, to be fair, but he's gone into P2, to be fair. He's gone on a 114.3 as people are now starting to come to the pits. Lars Brugman into the pits, Matthew Churgwin into the pits,
Ruud
into the pits as well. Easterbeek in, and I'm glad to say that Sherwin van der Sloot made it back to the pits as well to hopefully repair his car. So a little bit of a rest now for the drivers, maybe for the likes of Van der Woude there, I see. Clear track would be nice, but he's going to probably get a nice clean lap in. Van der Woude currently in third seed. I think that's Lars Brugman just coming out the pits again. We'll see.
Always locked up.
Oh yeah, he's gone wide, Van der Woude. We'll see what this clear track can do for the Dutchman though. He's actually, it's not Van der Woude who's got a 10th place, sorry. It is Van der Woude. So we're on the right driver anyway. So this is actually quite a crucial session for Van der Woude, because right now he'll be starting club last with this 10th place grid penalty. So ideally he will want to find at least the 10th. I didn't realise actually how close the top 10 downwards is. Currently 2-3 tenths separating 10th to 13th, so a little bit of time here and there could see you flying up the order, and especially for Van der Woude with a 10th place penalty, that'd be quite frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even though he did mess up that first turn, he only lost about 7 thousandths in that sector, so there's actually quite a bit of time that he can gain there. I'm sure a lot of drivers will be saying the same kind of thing, that the little mistakes around this track, especially in all the traction zones, there's so much time that can be gained or lost. He's currently improved 2 tenths on his previous time, so this should be an improvement as long as he keeps it all together over the final sector of this lap. As he comes towards the line, he does improve to 10th position, 15.966. That's not a bad lap time. Less than 2 seconds after pole, the provisional pole at the moment. So we've got 7 minutes to go. Oh, there's someone backwards.
That is Yuri
T1. Yes.
And Yuri has actually just escaped to garage there, the Snowsharten driver. So filling in for Pedro Delgado, and it must be said, Snowsharten not exactly with the best attendance rate. They've only attended one race this year. And so Yuri escaping from qualifying there. If he's going to choose to go out again, so that'll be a grid penalty for next round if Yuri chooses to attend it, unfortunately. So shame there. It's a risk you have to take, or maybe he hasn't read the rules. We simply don't know. Either way, with 5 minutes, or it's about 6.5 minutes, sorry, left of Q1 here, it's Lars Brugman on provisional pole, 3 tenths ahead of Sven de Vries, Ruud Heesbeek third, Rhys Brackham fourth, and Pedro Gomez rounding out your top 5. I find it very interesting to see there's actually there's little clusters of groups now. You've got Danny Asbury there in P7. He's currently 6 tenths ahead of the man in P8, Menno Kontu. I think he's having his best qualifying of the year, if I'm correct. So a very nice time there, or a very nice position there for Menno Kontu. As I say, he's 6 tenths behind Danny Asbury, and then you go back to Nico Barclay. Alexander Van der Woude at 10th is 4 tenths behind him. So it's interesting to see the different clusters here. They're obviously finding time somewhere, and it just shows that you really need to actually finely tune the setup to really eke out as much time as possible.
Mike Bell moves up into the 10th position, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Around this circuit, it's something that I found, it's something that I was saying a lot before this session, was that you're going to find there's going to be lots of little clusters around this track, because a lot of this track is based on traction, and traction's the hardest bit in this car. You know, especially in the Hondas running the twin turbos and stuff like that. The traction's actually really difficult. Most people are running Honda powered engines around this circuit, and have been over the Atlantic Series season, because technically on a road course they're actually a little bit faster. Because of that twin turbo, they're just a lot harder on traction. So that's why you're going to see all these different clusters, because of the amount of traction zones. That's Maurice Brackham moving up into the 3rd position. Fantastic, that 114.4. Your current fast 6, because this is actually important. 5 minutes to go in this session. Lars Brugman, Sven de Vries, Maurice Brackham, Danny Asbury, Ruud Heesbeek, and Rhys Gardner are the top 6. Those would be the ones that are going to be moving on into Q2, where they'll have another 5-minute session to try and improve on their time, all currently separated by half a second. As there's a little bit of movement within it, as I think that was Danny Asprey moving up to third, yes. So yeah, that's how this Q session is going to work if this is the first time tuning into the Atlantic Series broadcasts. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if anyone can get themselves into that top 6, because it's so vital at this point in qualifying. 4 minutes 20 seconds to go, and with such a short lap, you've all got a few more attempts, as everyone's going to be leaving pit lane, fresh rubber, fresh fuel, going to be giving it one last go.
Currently, I think the only man who could probably usurp that top 6 would be Pedro Gomez, who's featured in it for parts of the session, but currently finds himself outside by a 10th. He's currently going around turn 6 there in P7. Going around turn 7 now. Let's have a little look here, see whether he is improving much. It's a 28.7 for the first sector there, so I think he's sort of using this lap to perhaps warm up his tyres before going for one last hot lap. The Portuguese driver's had a very strong campaign so far, actually, very consistent, and even with that crash in the Indy Classic, he's got a pole position to his name, sitting third in the championship. And will not want to lose too much time to Lars Bruckmann and Ruud Hiesevik, both are ahead. And actually, Pedro decides to come in and pit.
Get some fresh rubber.
He's going to have to get out sharp.
Well, as I say, like if these tyres are only lasting about 2 minutes, 2 minutes, lol. If they're lasting about 2 laps, rather, he's got an out lap. He can still do 2 laps. He's still got time. You know, with it being such a short lap, 1 minute. You know, you're talking just over 75 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
For an out lap, you know, you've got plenty of time.
I'm getting too used to digital times. I'm reading 13:00 and thinking it's 1 o'clock. I'm like, no, that's just completely wrong, isn't it? So let's have a little look then. So Danny Asprey's just coming out again. Pedro Gomez coming out again. Yeah. 2 minutes 45 left of this session to go. Still only 20 drivers, unfortunately, out of a 30-strong grid. I'm sure that league management will be taking note. Of course, we don't like to see attendance this low, especially for a brand new series. So we'll hopefully see the numbers up next time out at is that Lexington? It is Lexington, Mid-Ohio. So
Mid-Ohio, yeah.
Lovely round for next round there. But let's focus on Vegas.
Nico Barkley's he just started a lap with Nico Barkley. He's locked up into turn 4. He's currently in the 8th position. He's trying to, I think he's one of the people that could be threatening for that top 6. The only problem is he's done too many laps in his tyres. I think he's just overcooked them, overworked them, and now has flat spotted them. Obviously a feature within R Factor 2, the ability to flat spot tyres. So I think his session is done and he will qualify in the 8th position. I don't see him going much further up than that.
Let's go on board with Lars Bruckmann here in P1, our championship leader. Let's see whether he's actually just gone across the line and improved to a 1:13.8. So this is his second lap now on these tyres for the Dutchman. So a great effort there. Really extends his pole position, or his provisional pole position lead, to 5/10 of a second. We'll go round with him now into the 90-degree section here. Yes, we've got a little message through here. No worries. So we're just avoiding onboards currently. Apparently the sound is a little bit too loud.
Lars crashed.
There, so that is Lars done and dusted.
Just bring it back to pit lane.
Yep. So 1:13.803 is the benchmark. Can anyone usurp the man who's been on top this entire session?
Well, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and find out.
De Vries is round and he's hit the wall. I was just looking at him there. So De Vries certainly won't be improving. Perhaps Danny Asprey is the man. Just have a look. Bracan,
nice.
That's a nice lap from Bracan, and he will have another lap as well.
Churgwin's backwards on the track in out of turn 4. I'm just keeping an eye on Pedro Gomez, because obviously he's the one that's going to be threatening for this top 6 position at the moment.
Just having a little look as well at Danny Asprey.
At the moment he's 3/10 up, is Pedro Gomez. He's 3/10 up after the first sector, so keep an eye on Pedro Gomez.
Just checking as we go across the lines. We have a look at Gomez still. No, that's an improvement from Asprey. He's up into P2 though, of course. This is just to get into Q2. This is not setting position. As we now look to Pedro Gomez. He's
currently in the
just got
7th
the chicane
place.
To go. He's 7th place. He's got 1/10 to make.
He's still improving. He is still improving.
Could Pedro Gomez force Reese Gardner here out of the top 6? It'd be a real shame for Reese if this was to be the case.
It is, yeah.
And he does. So Pedro Gomez, at the last, forces his way into the Fast 6 shootout, otherwise known as Q2. The other men joining him will be Lars Brugman, Danny Asprey, Sven de Vries, Maurice Bracan, and Ruud Easterbeek, who I still believe is on a lap. We'll see where Ruud can improve to. And that is P4 for Ruud, so it's a good job that Pedro did get in when he did. He sneaks into the top 6, but a real shame there for Reese Gardner. That's an incredible effort considering he is the single-man team, 16th in the championship as well. A real wonderful effort from him. Alas, though, there is no mercy shown here in Atlantic Series, and he shall be missing out on Q2.
Yeah, it's interesting in that session to see 3 people in the 13s. They all kind of breaking through. Lars will be feeling a little bit under threat going into the second session. As I say, great lap from Reese Gardner. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Pedro Gomez put in that ultimate lap right at the end of the session and just slapped it straight into that top 6 to be moving on into the next session. As you said, Lars Brugman, Maurice Bracan, Danny Asprey, Ruud Easterbeek, Sven de Vries and Pedro Gomez are those people in the top 6. Ruud Easterbeek, in my opinion, is the one that we've got to be keeping an eye on. I'm surprised that he's only 4th and he's 4/10 off of main championship rival Lars Brugman. After having the DNF that he had at Indy, he needs to be picking up these points again. He needs to be fighting back against Brugman, who, as we've seen across all of these seasons, all the series that he's taken part in, he's picking up so much pace recently. He's been struggling to put it together in qualifying. Doesn't look like he's struggling with it too much today. That 13.8 is a very, very nice time. However, not secured for pole position, as the drivers behind are all going to be threatening in the next session, which starts in about 3 minutes time.
So, statistics going into this session. Ruud Easterbeek and Pedro Gomez, 2 of our 3 men who have taken a pole position for this year. Pedro took his pole around the Indianapolis Oval, whilst Ruud Easterbeek took his pole position on the inaugural round of the series at Barber Motorsport Park. Lars Brugman is our championship leader. Easterbeek is 2nd, and Pedro Gomez 3rd. So our top 3 all in with a chance of this shootout. As we covered before, Asprey's only had 1 point score. Other than that, he's had a DSQ and a retirement. Bracan didn't take part in the oval race last time out, but he has had he's shown the pace before. He had a difficult Barber after being, or he had a bit of a complication on the formation lap there, but he scored. It was a P5 at Indianapolis road course, whereas Sven de Vries has sort of been in and out of the action, 2 ninth positions and a retirement at the oval. So a real mixture of top of the table talent and guys trying to force their way into the upper echelons of the table. Should be a very interesting Fast 6. Let's just have a little. We'll take this moment to welcome new drivers to the series. So, brand new lineup for TSA. The commentator duo that has been with you for rounds 1 and 2 are now in the TSA cars. It's Matthew Churgwin, who qualified P9, and Thomas Jacobs. Thomas Jacobs there in P14. Apparently Scott Beresford will be back, according to our cameraman extraordinaire, Cameron Brewster, on hashtag CamsCams. He's dossing about in another country.
Cyprus.
Apparently he's in Cyprus, is he?
I think so. I think he's in Cyprus. I don't know. I don't really listen to him.
Why have we never had a racetrack from Cyprus? I'd love a Cypriot Grand Prix.
Well, great. Thanks, mate, for that one. I don't know. Right.
But anyway, sorry. We also welcome Yuri Beskop as well, who qualified P19 for Snow Shuttle Racing, as Q2 is underway. Danny Asprey and Sven de Vries going straight out. Lars Brugman and Pedro Gomez follow them. Easterbeek and Bracan staying put, maybe in an effort to try and gain good position on track.
Yeah, I was talking to Lars in that quick break between the 2 sessions. He said he's pretty confident he can improve, saying that he just had a little bit of awkward traffic, but he's confident of the ability to improve within this session. So Lars, you're now on the spot. Get to it. I'm pretty sure a lot of the drivers out there are confident of improvement, because we're all egotistical.
Yeah?
Yeah. Horribly so.
In 2 or 3 laps, would you say?
I reckon what I would do personally within this session, I'd go out, I'd do one flying lap, and then I'd box.
And then 2 laps.
And then 2 laps. Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Well, we are going to, just a little update for the broadcast. We're going to avoid onboards for this broadcast. There's just a bit of sound difficulty. So we're going to have a little look here at Danny Asbury, the lead of the 6 cars, as he flies through the chicane there. Comes around turn 14 to start his first flying lap of this session. He is currently on a 1:13.9. He needs to find a 10.5 around this circuit as he locks up there into turn 1, coming into turn 2 now. That's actually a very nice line, using up all of the road, getting as close to the wall as possible. Heading around turn 3, up into the hill, into turn 4. And I'm just going to be having a little look at his first sector time when he comes across the split. His fastest is a 27.9. His fastest lap was a 28.0, and he has improved in that first sector to a 27.9 once again. So Asbury looking pretty good here as he rounds turn 7 and turn 8. Now the next sector split will be up just before the chicane, so it's all of these 90-degree right and left hands which he's got to try and surpass first. His fastest second sector was a 33.934.
Always
that
made
was
a
on his
mistake.
fastest lap, and he's made a mistake.
This probably cost him a little bit.
And that's a 34.5, so we won't be seeing an improvement from Asbury on this lap, but he's going to complete it anyway, so it looks like he's going to be potentially doing a contra strategy to what you suggested, maybe 2 laps followed by 1 super pole lap at the end of the session.
Maybe it is possible. Lars Brugman going, all right, yeah, now it's time to improve. Keep an eye on Brugman, who is improving in that second sector as he comes up towards the line. It's a 1:30.8 so far, and he improves to 1:30.7. He does improve a little bit. He lost time in the first sector and a little bit in the final. As Ruud Heasterbeek also improves, 14.0.
He improved by 0.2, but didn't gain a position, and Sven de Vries I see is in actually. So I reckon Sven will be coming out near the end of the session perhaps, and in fact he's just coming out now, maybe 2 laps for the American to end the session.
No, yeah, here he comes. So he's probably following the strategy that I'd run.
Rakan up to second.
Oh,
or was he second in the first
I
place?
think he was second in the first place.
Yeah.
We're going a bit mental here.
Yeah,
Sorry. This is not.
Whoa,
This is quite new to us to have 2 qualifying sessions. It's a little bit weird.
We are very used to just the 1 qualifying session, aren't we?
Yeah.
And 2 races.
I'd actually quite like to do a series with 2 qualifying sessions where I can actually get into Q2.
Yeah? I'm sure you can make it one day, mate. Oh, burn from the cameraman.
I'm getting told that I should come back and try harder.
Oh. What a burn.
Great.
Apply water to the burned areas. We've got Pedro Gomez here in P6. Coming across the line, he was on a 14.4. Still can't improve from a 14.4.
Lars Brugman does though. Wow, what a time! 13.511. That was an incredible lap time from Lars Brugman.
Ruud Heasterbeek across the line now, and he improves to a 1:13.7. So 0.2 separating the top 2 in the championship now. That is 1 and 2, and Heasterbeek is laying off now. I think he may consider himself done. In fact, yeah. So that is Heasterbeek done.
Yeah.
Lars Brugman not doing anything. Rakan's in, so I think it's up to de Vries and Gomez now, out of anybody, to try and match that mighty time by Brugman.
Let's keep an eye on de Vries then as he's coming around to start a lap. Obviously, we're not going to be doing an onboard, but that was a mighty time from Brugman. I would be surprised if anyone can topple that. He's looked so on it on the build-up to race day, and he's just proven it there that he's got it. And dirty air's a big factor around this track, so you know he's in a really good position if he's going to be starting from that pole position. But yeah, I'm just going to keep an eye on Sven. I'm going to see if he's actually improving in the first sector, as he is not. He's 4/10 off.
Gomez just coming across the line here in P6. Does he improve from his 14.4? He does, and he actually jumps the Prix there to a 1:14.1. If he's got enough in his tyres, he can go around another lap, but he is lifted. So that is Gomez done. So it's really up to de Vries to try and lift himself from P6. I noticed Bracan's come out on track, but I don't see how he's going to get round again.
He will actually. I watched him as he came out of the pit lane. He should get another lap in.
Well, that'll be interesting to see if de Vries can actually make it. De Vries coming through the final chicane here. 10 seconds left of this session. He comes around the final corner. A little clip of the wall there, I see. Can the American in his home series. Improved from a 14.3? No, he doesn't. But he gets an extra lap in as Rakan does not cross the line.
No, he doesn't.
In time.
No,
he did not cross. He was
missed it by
1 or 2
second.
seconds. Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was very tight when I saw him coming out the pit lane. De Vries though looks like he is still on it.
I believe he is.
So we'll see whether De Vries can mount.
It's his second flying lap.
Yeah.
Previously his fastest lap time that he's done was on his final lap. He is half a tenth up at the moment. So keep an eye on Sven de Vries, currently in the 6th place, trying to move himself further up in this Fast 6 and this Q2 for the race coming up shortly. Is he going to be able to do it?
I think he's hit the wall though. I think
that's done.
His
Yeah.
tyres have gone. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Oh yeah, but he's done exactly the same mistake that he did in Q1, spinning it out of there. So 4th different pole sitter in a row. Lars Brugman, our championship leader, takes pole position from the man in 2nd position in the championship, Ruud Heesterbeek. Maurice Bracan will take P3 in an excellent effort for the German. Danny Asbury, P4, makes it a walk, 2-4. And Pedro Gomez, our pole sitter from last time out at the Indy Classic, rounds out the top 5 with Sven de Vries rounding out the top 6.
Yeah, it's now this session. Now we're going to be moving on to the race, which is going to be a very interesting one, I feel. I do feel we're going to see some pretty heavy crashes, so if I do get very angry on the broadcast, apologies. It's quite a normal thing for me to get irritated at stupidity on broadcasts, but
you always get angry at me.
I do. I get angry at anyone, literally anyone. I'm just a very angry person, but yeah, hopefully it'll be all right. I can explain what's happened to me.
Yeah.
Not on the broadcast.
Not on the broadcast, no, for another day, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm quite excited to see this race, to be honest. I do feel I don't feel Lars is going to run away with this one. That's what I'll say right now, because I trust Lars and everything like that, but Ruud is such a good driver. He can just pull that little bit of race pace he needs out when he really needs it. So, we'll see. As Ruud Heesterbeek, he did enter the championship winning a race at the start of the season. Didn't win the second one. That was to Jarl Tyen, and the third one ended up going to Ben Warren after Eric decided not to run the correct engine. But it's going to be interesting. We're going to have 4 different winners in a row.
We shall wait and see, won't we? We shall wait and see. So, as Lewis alluded to, Indy Classic wasn't broadcast, unfortunately, due to various reasons and whatnot. Original winner was Eric Strana, but in his YDF1 car, they are contracted to Honda for this season, and he took a Chevrolet engine, so that's a technical infringement. He lost the win, goes to Ben Warren. And by the way, congratulations to Ben Warren for
absolutely
a worthy winner. A real destruction derby, that one, once again, with only 11 finishers. It was not good. But let's just take you through our top 10 in the Drivers' Championship and have a little gander at the team's standings as well. So, Lars Brugman leads on 100 points from Ruud Heesterbeek, 10 behind on 90. Pedro Gomez only 8 behind Heesterbeek on 82. It's all about consistency in this series. Because of the big points tallies, the more you chug in, the higher up the table you're going to go. It's as simple as that. Mike Bell, a good example of that. P4, 75 points for the Englishman. Nico Barkley in 5th on 72. Paul Joseph, P6 on 53. Boya Garcia, who's only cracked the top 10 once this year, in 7th on 51. Ben Warren, who took part in one round, won a race, is there in 8th with 50 points. Jarl Tyen isn't here today. Now, he's taken 2 fastest laps this year, Jarl, but 2 retirements speak volumes, I feel. He's there in 9th on 50 as well. And Scott Beresford, who isn't here today as well, round out the top 10 on 45. Though yourself, Lewis, you are joint 10th or 11th due to Scott's high position. You're both on 45 points.
I've got more points than that. Just pointing that out. I've got 47. Really? Yeah.
No, you haven't. 6th is 28. 6th is 28.
We're not going to discuss this now. You're
on 45. According to you, got a 6th and a 13th.
It's alright. We'll discuss this afterwards. I'll kill him. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, team standings. Pro line on 150, 20 clear of Walk, and Walk have had a very dodgy campaign. They've had a win and 2 seconds, 2 retirements and a DSQ, so all sorts of spectrum covered there. Drager then in third on 113, on the same amount of points as Scuderia Basilia, but Drake have that fourth position to their name, while Basilia only have a fifth. So Drake are ahead on that one. Smart Power fifth on 102, TSA 6 on 90, the Mighty fourth, 7th on 80, Positive 8th on 77, while the F1 9th on 74, and Simtech rounding out the top 10 on 70. So, very interesting championship tables. It's interesting to see new guys getting involved as well. And the reason why you got 11th at Indy, did you?
Yeah, well, sorry, I was just leaving that in the chat. Yeah. 3 penalties, don't worry. We'll gloss over that one.
I must not have
focusing
updated
today.
the wiki. I must apologise.
It's disgusting.
So I might very well have got those. I'm pretty sure TSA will have more points then, unless
Two.
I've put it
Two.
wrong. So 92 points for TSA then apparently.
Sorry, got to make sure it's all correct. Can't have everyone thinking that I'm a worse driver than I am.
Of course, no, I totally understand.
I'm a horrifically egotistical person.
Well, we found this out over the
Well, thanks.
2 years that we've been commentating, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's been 2 years.
It is, isn't it? It's crazy. It's sort of an anniversary thing, and you've been around the block. I've now commentated.
Excuse me.
Oh, you okay then?
This been around the block.
Right. Okay.
Not been told that before.
No, okay. I mean, I've certainly been around the block. I've now, with commentating on this series, I've now commentated on every series of GPV apart from ITC. So, Smithy, I'm after your job.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. I love Smithy very much.
Yeah.
That's another all, but
That is another ill.
yeah.
He won't be watching this broadcast, but if he was, he'd be illing as
If
well.
he was, yeah, absolutely. Oh, there you are, Bob. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I shall have to amend that.
It's alright, now everyone knows that I'm actually in the top 10. Thanks.
And so, actually, that does mean that there is an amendment, because David Junt there has got a 10th for Basilia. So that means that Basilia are actually 3rd and Drager 4th.
Right, well, this has changed up the whole championship, ladies and
The
gentlemen.
entire championship is
We've
changed.
figured this all out in a warm-up session on the build-up to this race, that the whole championship is way different.
Oh,
dear.
don't blame us. This isn't my show.
Yeah,
And we're not meant to be here.
it is true. But, well, I feel that I have to be here because I left the team and then the 2 commentators are now replacing me. So I kind of feel as payment to that, I do have to come and do the broadcast. That's why I'm here. Hello.
Hello. Right then, so we are just having a little reminder. If you are new to the Atlantic Series, just like us, then you will notice that things are a little bit different in comparison to the other series. Here, we do have a formation lap, but we don't have a standing start. We're going back to the old 2013 World GT style of a rolling start, or indeed IndyCar starts, as well as the IndyCar point structure, which is why if you go onto the wiki or the website, then you'll be thinking, wait, this doesn't fall in line with GPVWC points at all. That's because we are using proper IndyCar points and everything, because we're really trying to go for the authentic experience. So it is a single file formation lap, and I'm very thankful that it's single file, especially for these sorts of circuits. A lot of chatter going on as well, saying basically what we're all thinking: this is going to be entertaining, but in what way we just don't know at the moment.
Well, turn 1's going to be a crashy mess on the first lap, I feel.
Oh, let's have a bit of faith, Lewis.
Let's have a bit of faith.
Yeah? Like blind faith. Mason status.
Yeah, I've used that song before in a video.
Those F1 or FOM, sorry.
Well, yeah, I know, mine was better.
Was it?
Well, it was the Super Cup video, leave that
It
alone.
was, yeah. It was a nice video, I remember.
Yeah.
Check it out on
GPWC YouTube.
It's www.youtube.com/GPVWC.
Yeah.
Nice
Or
plug.
whatever
actually,
channel ID
that's a fair
YouTube's
point,
given it.
actually. It's a fair point, to be honest, because if you want to tell anyone or you want to show anyone the broadcasts, all uploaded there. And we recommend that you watch it on YouTube because it's not Daily Motion.
Well, there we go. We're not endorsed by YouTube, by the way. It's just that Dailymotion's rubbish.
Well, we've actually had a couple of complaints here about buffering and everything.
It's terrible. I'm a horrible person.
And actually, to be fair as well, we've been having wonderful uploading times for the broadcasts as well. We've had it pretty much on the evening for most races now for past couple of months or something, so no need to fear any more about month-long delays with broadcasts or anything. If it is longer than, say, 3 to 4 days, then you can probably rest assured that there is something technically very wrong in the way that we upload the broadcast. So go and subscribe to GPVWC on YouTube for any broadcast replays. Go and have a look at them.
Have we done our plugs now? Our official plugs of the GPVWC YouTube. What else have we got to plug? I could plug Aurora Designs whilst we're here.
Aurora Designs, they do nice photos.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I mean, this is IndyCar. This is the land of sponsorship.
This is the land of sponsorship with the Fuso starting grid.
No,
that's
not
Australia.
Fuso.
That is Australia. I think it's like, I can't remember what the starting
grid is.
And
it's also my joke, Lewis.
It is your joke. No, I can't remember what the starting grid sponsored by an IndyCar. Well, I'm a proper IndyCar fan. I am.
Isn't it like Horizon or something?
Verizon's just a sponsor of the main series.
Oh.
It could be the Verizon.
iZod?
No, that was a long time ago.
Was that a long time ago?
It was a few years ago.
Maybe
we've got a minute to go, by the way, for everyone watching, until we move on into the race. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
We can go for hashtags actually. Okay, so we've got a couple of hashtags. If you want to get in contact with me directly, then mention my Twitter handle @KirkyLife. That's @KirkyLife. Alternatively, if you want to get in contact, you can hashtag GPVWC Live, and if you like some of the sexy replays that we've got going on, then hashtag CamsCams, because it's a clever play on words.
Yeah.
15 seconds left to go.
Yeah.
Let's get a prediction from you, Lewis. Who is going to win the Vegas Grand Prix today?
I've got to keep it in there for my boy. I know he left the team that I'm a part of, and has broke my heart from doing so. But I have to give this to Lars Brugman. He has been looking so fast on the build up to this. His pace has been good. He isn't in the game at the moment though, which is really worrying. I think we may have to hold up here. I don't know where Lars and Roy... Lars is back. There we go. Now Lars, I can say, right, Lars is going to win this race. We're okay now. I just think he's a little bit too strong at this circuit. But you never know. Rude's very, very strong as well.
I am going to agree with you. I reckon that, especially the nature of the street circuit, I've been looking at many drivers over the course of free practice and indeed qualifying. A lot of them have made mistakes. One of the only people who hasn't, Lars Brugman, and he also happened to take pole position. So I would say it is very difficult to bet against him if you are going to bet against him. Yeah, I think we're just waiting on Roy now to return. It is going to be a truncated grid, unfortunately. Only 20 drivers in total, so missing 10 today. That is a lot of people missing. Nico Barkley going for a Mad Mass Las Vegas. Danny Asprey very happy that it's us two on commentary today, Lewis. So hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast replay, Danny, as you watch this back. Van der Voort, rectastic. Of course, Van der Voort will be hoping to ride on the bit of luck that Ben Warren had from winning last time out in the Indy Classic. 3 retirements so far for Van der Voort, so I'm sure he'll be wanting to get his first point score of the year. And that is the wonderful thing about the point structure here in the Atlantic Series. If you complete 75% of the race, which I shall find out for you today, or what the total is for that today, you score points. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter where you finish, even with a 30-car grid. If you complete 75% of the race, you're going to score something. Yeah.
It's just the interesting, different point structure that we have for this, which I think caught everyone off guard with the going into the exit of the first round, as we were all kind of like, oh, we're here in the championship, and then we ended up being somewhere totally different. Scott Beresford, though, did remain 4th.
He did.
That's an inside joke.
He is always 4th.
We have, though, moved on into the race session. 25 seconds to go until the formation lap begins. As has been said, we will have a formation lap, and then I believe it will be up to Lars as to when he wants to restart after leaving the chicane. So yeah, we've got hopefully an interesting race to look forward to, and hopefully, although this is kind of asking for a bit too much, hopefully not a crash fest.
Indeed. So, it is Lars Brugman then who leads us off on our formation lap for Team Proline, his first pole position of the year. He's followed by his main rival in the Drivers' Championship at this halfway point, Maurice Speed for Walk Racing. Maurice Bracken with a lovely qualifying for why the F1. He is P3 ahead of Eastweek's teammate Danny Asprey. I think they'll be looking to gain big points on Proline with no sign of Jarl Tyne here today. Pedro Gomez, our pole sitter from last time out, is P5 for Drake Racing with Sven de Vries, P6 for Satellite. A very good qualifying for Rhys Gardner, the Australian, qualifying P7 for his Australian outfit, the Australian outfit, Hinds Motorsport, headed by Thomas Hinds. Nico Barkley will start P8. Scuderia Basilia with now Quant P9 for high speed racing. Rounding out the top 10 is our commentator extraordinaire, Mr. Matthew Chuggy for TSA Racing. Roy Schroeder will then start P11 for Drake with David Junt, P12 for Scuderia Basilia. Mike Bell will be starting P13 for Smile Power Racing with Thomas Jacobs P14 for TSA Racing. Sherwin van der Soot, who's looking a bit dodgy in qualifying to be fair, crashed twice. P15 for the one-man Simtech Motorsport today. Tom van der Voort in a similar position, only one car for Midnight Motorsports. He starts P16. Again, only one car out of a two-car team. Paul Joseph starts P17 with the Mighty Fourth. Yuri Vescope is the lone snow shark. Good thing it's only a one-man team. He starts P18 with Sam Jones in P19 for Arrow International Racing. The grid is rounded out by Alexander van der Woude following a 10th place grid penalty. 26 laps is the magic number to reach today in order to score points. Let's hope that as many of these drivers can make it that far.
Yeah, I think they'll be boxed about halfway through the race. You keep an eye on the front, I'll keep an eye on the back and see what carnage happens down into that first turn. A bit worried about it, but hope for the best.
Let us hope for the best. So let's have a look here at Lars Brugman then. He is the virtual safety car in this regard.
He's gone.
And he is gone. It is green
Lord.
here at Fremont Street Circuit. And Brugman has left Easterbeek for dust. An incredible start from the Dutchman. Already a 2.1 second lead. And we've not even got a turn one done already. Lars Brugman well ahead. Behind Easterbeek is Bracken. Asprey with Pedro Gomez right in the back of the Prix. Who does it? Barclay. Oh, Rhys into the wall. No, sorry, the Prix. Yeah, it is the Rhys into the wall. And Barclay's caught up in that. Rhys Gardner just about winning it. Sherwin with a good start up to 7th. Blanc up into 8th. Schroeder 9th. And the Prix into 10th though, as Ray Schroeder still battling around with him. I'm sure that the Rhys would have had surely picked up some suspension damage there. As heading into turn 5 now with these guys. Roy Schroeder very close to the Rhys on the inside of turn 7. The Dutchman gives the American plenty of room. Really nice defensive drive from the Rhys. And here comes David Junt with an opportunistic move up the inside of turn 10. Swiss has a bit of contact with Roy. And Roy's going to keep it up the inside here. My goodness me. Turn 9 here. As we enter turn 10, see Mike Bell hitting the wall. Incredible to see the race that's going on here. Look at the gap there up to Sven de Vries now. He's been able to. Oh, and sorry, now gets in the wall. Oh, massive crash there. Mike Bell involved.
Yeah, big.
Involved. And thankfully, a lot of people getting through that. Oh, dearie me, that was all started by damage up at the end of lap 1. Oh, forget lap 1. Last was already up to lap 2. He leads by 2.7. He leads by 2.7, sorry, from Eastweek Bracken, Asprey Gomez, Gardner, Sherwin, Clont, de Vries, Schroeder, but a massive accident there for someone.
For everyone.
For everyone. Yeah.
Everyone in that midfield, yeah. It's going to be, Thomas Jacobs and Van der Sloot going side by side into turn 1. Thomas Jacobs has got the inside line. I don't know what position it's for. Sorry, wasn't looking.
Oh, it was P12.
As contact.
Yes, Van der Sloot's hit the wall there, so Van der Woude.
Van der Woude? It's not a bad launch from Van der Woude after starting last. He's up to 13th already after one complete lap. That's not bad at all.
So let's see. Oh, that's someone having contact there. I'm not sure who.
Sorry, I think it's Sherwin van der Sloot, 17th position, spun out of turn 4.
he's got back going again. So the main casualties there from lap 1 were Barclay, Bell and Vandervoort. Thankfully all able to get back to the pit. I think Barclay is out. He's missing the front bit of his suspension.
Yeah.
Peruvian there, P5 in the championship. Looks like he's our early casualty from this race.
Lars Brugman's pulling away in P1 at the moment. He's got a 3.1 second lead. As they come towards the line, it'll be 3.2, so we've got the chicane a little bit better. The thing that Ruud Heasterbeek, he is under threat from Maurice Bracan at the moment in that YTF1 car. The car that did technically go on to win at Indianapolis, however, wrong engine, all right, we've been through that. It did actually finish on the podium in the hands of Eric Stranas. This car,
And it got a fastest lap as well.
and it did get a fastest lap. But this car, obviously pretty quick at the moment. And Maurice Bracan, he's got really good pace around this Fremont Street circuit at the moment, so he's trying to put in the good laps, catch Ruud Heasterbeek, previously championship leader, race winner earlier on in the year, so he is absolutely showing some fantastic pace at the moment, is Maurice Bracan.
Don't count out Asprey and Gomez as well, though. They are very close to this battle for P2, so I reckon that we can have a lovely four-way battle for the podium. Lars Brugman, though, what a launch from him. 3 seconds ahead of Easterby currently. Reece Gardner, after avoiding that early incident, all on his own really there in P6. Choking up to P7, a good start from the Englishman. De Vries P8, Klomp P9, Schroten P10. As I see Jones and Van der Sloot coming into the pits, unfortunately. Schroten P10, Junt P11, so it was Nico Barclay, who caused that massive incident, not David Junt. David Junt was able to avoid that. Jacobs P12, Van der Wow in the 30s, Joseph 40, Yuri Viscote in P15, as unfortunately everyone else behind is trying to get their dues done. So I noticed Nico Barkley is actually getting his suspension repaired.
Yeah, it's just going to take a very long time.
Yeah, he's got to be careful though, as I say, because out of these 34 laps, you can afford to be 8 laps down. And then it's just not worth going around anymore. So
yeah, but with the points and the way they are, it would be worth finishing the race if you can keep within that. If you can keep within the 75%. We're all saying with Sam Jones, who's also in a similar position of being in the pit lane, getting a lot of damage repaired. Still though, for your top, well, not top 5 really, because Lars Brugman has just gone. All right, see ya. From 2nd to 5th though, 2.7 seconds separates them. They're all very, very close. I think they're actually a lot closer than that now. Probably separated by not much more than a second. So this fight for second, this fight for the runner-up position within this race is absolutely on. And if Lars Brugman makes any sort of mistake within this race, which is very easy to do around the circuit, then this could be the fight for the win.
Bit of smoke there from Easterbeek's engine, and I thought it was very interesting to note actually that you were noting how Easterbeek seemed a little bit off the pace in qualifying. I do wonder whether that sort of uncertainty and that clear domination from Brugman over Pedro Gomez there, a little bit of a leery moment, trying to get past Asprey. I think Asprey starting to become a bit of a ball cork for Gomez now as well, and this is actually quite crucial for Gomez.
Gardner spun. He's all half spun at 6th.
Who?
He had Reece Gardner had a half spin at turn 2 in 6th position.
Still in 6th.
Yeah,
still ahead of Churgman, which is crucial. As I'm looking up at Bracan again, Bracan right on the back of Easterbeek, but as I was saying in an earlier point, this is quite a crucial race for Gomez. Currently sits in P3 in the championship. Could actually is Danny Asprey had a bit of a leery moment there out of turn 6 as well, lighting up the tyres.
Past Churgwin.
Yep, and I noticed that Yuri Biscope is actually out of this race, so the Snow Shattered driver out of the race. But look at this scrap at P7, 8, 9 and 10.
Bit of squeezing into the wall there from Churgwin on Menaclont.
Very close racing from these guys, and it's great to see. It's almost like they're in little clusters, aren't they? But yeah, Yuri, our first retirement from this race, unfortunately. As going back up to P2, it's hard to keep your eyes off this one. Bracan once again closing in on Easterbeek. I just wonder whether he's trying to get a through first.
He'll have a look into turn 1. Here he goes. He's got a good run at the moment.
Going to the outside.
Outside line's not bad for turn 1. He'll break a bit later.
Let's have a look. He's probably going to try and get the cutback. Easterbeek goes deep, but actually
this is not a place you can go.
Nice
not a place you can go too wide down here. So, well, Judge, I think Bracan's, he's sitting there going, you know, I can get past you. Oh, mistake from Ruud Heasterbeek. I think I said Heasterbeek. Sorry.
Heasterbeek, yeah. Hey, Bracan up into P2, and what a lovely bit of pressure from the German. Worked off wonderfully. Easterbeek has now got to worry about his own teammate, Danny Asprey, right in his rear.
Yeah, is he going to play the team game, try and let Danny go past to go after Bracan, or is he going to think solely about his own championship aspirations and try and keep that third for himself?
I tell you what, you can see these cars really squiggling around. Bracan with a real tank slapper out of turn 8 there. And I mean, look how much time Easterbeek is losing already to Bracan. A real cork in the bottle, it seems, the Dutchman was.
Yeah, as I... something's gone on. Sorry, I think Churgman's been off in... he's down in 11th position. Need to go have a look on that on the replay.
I'm just having a look at it now. Oh, it looked like it was all his own doing, actually. Yeah, just spun it out to turn 7 there and hit the wall. So he's going to have to come in for a new front wing, unfortunately. So a shame as the
Van der Woude.
really good starts as Van der Woude as he getting past Thomas Jacobs. So Dutchman, 10 place grid penalty, no worries. He's up to 11 there past Jacobs.
He's making some good progress at the moment, is Alexander Van der Woude, as Menno Klont is crashed in the entrance to pit lane. He's crashed in the entrance to pit lane.
Oh, yeah, let's have a look here.
In 13th position at the moment.
Oh, yeah, no, he just lost it completely. And he's become our second retirement of the day, unfortunately. So again, another great start ruined, and Menno Klont becomes our second retirement.
Oh, Alex Van der Woude's round. Alex Van der Woude's round in 11th position.
Not lost any pieces, though. That's a very difficult position to have spun, though. Getting it started.
Good avoidance from Jacobs. Good avoidance from Jacobs to have gotten past that without crashing.
But I tell you what, because of Klont's retirement, he remains in P11.
Yeah, he did get up to 10th briefly, and he has got some good pace within that Smile Power Racing machine, so he needs to keep focused. I mean, to say I know he's 32 seconds off of the lead at the moment, but the thing is he lost 20 seconds to the lead on that first lap, so I'm wondering if he is actually going to go down a lap. If he doesn't, that'd be a good drive, but you got to remember this is a very short lap around this Fremont Street circuit.
I'm actually just going to take a note here. Nico Barclay still in the pits, now plus 6 laps. I said if he goes 8 laps down or more, there's no point in continuing because he will not be classified. Sam
Jones got back out again though in 19th place, so he is
still going,
continuing to circulate as Churgwin is in the pit lanes for that damage. The thing that I would like noted at the moment is Maurice Bracan, who is closing in on Lars Brugman. Not quickly. It doesn't need to be quickly. But he is catching. He has caught 3/10 over the last couple of sectors. The gap has gone down from just over 5 seconds to 4.7. That shows how much Ruud Easterbeek was holding him back, because he has got some good pace within that YTF1 car, and he is closing in on the Dutchman.
Let's hope he has the right engine this time.
I can check.
Yeah, great, there we are.
He is on the right engine, yeah.
There we go, so the YDF1 with the correct Honda engine for this round. What I'm a bit baffled by, though, is just...
Oh, wow, why did it come down so much there? Lars Brugman must have made a mistake. It's come down an entire second within that second sector.
He had traffic from Bell.
Oh, that's...
caught up behind him, so he was caught out a little bit there. So yeah, a second loss there for Brugman in that traffic. But I'm wondering why the Warp car's just so unable to respond to this pace from Bracan and Brugman, to be honest. Pedro Gomez isn't really providing too much of a threat there in 5th, but is a constant reminder in the mirrors that, look guys, if you make a mistake, I am going to be taking your position, thank you very much. They just seem to be nowhere, as I think Danny Asby there hit the wall on the exit in turn 4. I say they're looking average, they're much faster than the rest of the field, but not that sharp.
No, I mean, considering this is the team that has been the team to beat effectively this season so far. I know they had a double retirement at the Indy Classic 250 that we just did, but they haven't looked like they've taken... Remember, we have had the change of car. We have had this updated car. They don't seem to have taken to that as nicely and as comfortably as to be honest, like Bracan and Brugman. Those two have taken to it very nicely, very comfortably at the moment. Although I did actually hear that Brugman was struggling with this car at first when first playing with it, and he actually was one of the people that didn't want it updated.
Oh, sorry, David jumped around, sorry. Oh, David, really?
What did he do?
He spun at turn 10 there and just reversed back onto the track right into the path of Churgwin. I think Churgwin was just about able to get away with it, though. He's 2 laps down, so as long as he keeps circulating, he'll be okay. But Junt crucially lost the position there to Schroten. Junt down to P9, Schroten up to P8, as Nico Barclay is now 8 laps down. Oh! Yeah.
Yeah, probably would have done. With the flat spot, sorry, we're talking about the... Churgwin's probably going to have some flat spots from that. He is 2 laps down. I think you were just about to say Nico Barclay is circulating the track at the moment.
And it's 8 laps down, though.
He is 8 laps down, but was 8 laps the limit, or was it 9?
I believe he is. I believe this is the limit, like the absolute limit.
And he is currently behind second on track, so he could stay on the lead lap here. Or not, well, not on the lead lap, sorry. He could stay on that lap until the end of the race, but he can't lap too slowly because he needs to keep up with these guys.
Just showing Van der Sloot is in the pits. We are on to lap 12 of 34. Or actually, no, sorry.
Van der Voort's made a mistake at turn 2.
Oh, yeah.
In 13th place. He's going to wait for the right moment to rejoin. Obviously, leader's coming through at the moment.
Yep, so he's back on the road at P13. It's difficult this one because it's lap 11, I want to say, out of 34.
It is.
I'm not really sure.
We've completed lap 11.
Van der Voort is unfortunately. So we're on lap 12 then? I don't know. I think we're on lap 12 of 35 in total. That's including the formation lap.
Yeah.
We'll say lap 12.
Yeah, we're on lap 12, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. As Mike Bell's in the pits, I did notice that Van der Voort clouted the wall again, so no doubt suspension damage on that midnight car. But it seems that Lars Brugman has started to respond to the pace of Bracan. The gap up to 4.3 again, but still, it's a nice comfortable gap that Bracan is starting to create over the 2 walk cars of Eastwick and Asbury. Gomez is actually starting to fall away from the 2 walk cars, maybe just wanting to consolidate this P5 and keep it in check, and then it's Rhys Gardner all is only P6, De Vries P7, Schroeter P8,
De Vries catching.
Jacobs P10, and crucially De Vries catching Rhys Gardner, so maybe a battle for P6 to be on the cards there.
I just saw Danny Asbury in 4th position take an interesting line through that final chicane and get very, very close to that barrier. Riding on board with one of these cars, and obviously you're not going to be able to see this on the broadcast because we can't do the onboards due to the engine volume. But when you are on board with one of these cars and you watch them get so close to that wall where the divider is between the racetrack and the pit lane entrance, it's absolutely terrifying to watch because you're sitting there going, there's no way they're going to make it, they're going to crash, and somehow they always seem to pull it off, but it's absolutely terrifying to watch.
Oh, is that someone who's clouted the wall? Who's that? I heard someone hit the wall.
I heard someone hit the wall as
and
well.
It's Van der Voort
again. Yeah.
And I fear he's going to be overtaken by Churgwin here. He's got back going. That's in T5 to T6.
13th position still, yeah.
He's going to have to come for a new front wing, and so that should mean that Churgwin, who's interestingly enough on the regular tyres.
I think that's a very smart move from him. I'll give you credit for that. That, I think, means that he is going to be trying to go until the end of the race. Very quick thinking. That takes, that's some good knowledge right there. He's sort of thought earlier on in the race, he's got the front wing damage. He needs to respond to that in a way that he's not going to have to pit again. Has gone onto the primary tyres, the harder compound tyre.
As Danny Asbury has passed Easterbeek, sorry.
He has.
For P3, that was a nice turn into turn 1.
Gap between the lead.
On hashtag Cams, the lead. Yeah, I look like Easterbeek let through Asbury there, but I'm not sure what has happened to Brugman here. I'm just going to have a little look to see whether it was just a mistake.
You have a look and see what's going on with Brugman. I'm going to keep an eye on just what's going on track at the moment.
There's the mistake. It was out of turn 9. Brugman lit up the tyres and had a half spin, and that gap has come down to 1.3 seconds as a cost, essentially, as Van der Sloot is out with an engine issue. He becomes our 3rd retirement of the race. Down to 1 second the gap. Bracan has the lead in his sights, and he's not going to let go now.
Yeah, it's looking like we could be the top 3 in this race haven't won a race, so it looks like we could be going on for our 4th different winner of the season. Obviously, we're approaching 21. We're on the 21 laps to go at the moment, so a long way to go in this race. Lars Brugman just needs to calm down, and you got to remember he is the championship leader. He still hasn't won a race this season, but he just needs to keep calm. Needs to keep just having a deep breath and to tell him before the race that he just needs to calm down. But it's
difficult when you're leading a championship for the first time here.
Absolutely is. I mean, I know Lars hasn't actually won too many races in sim racing career, and so there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders at this present moment in time. And he's got that pressure on a very difficult circuit as he's coming up to lap time Van der Voort.
I've noticed Rhys Gardner has lost 7
Van der Voort,
seconds
who's doing
to
a
De Vries.
fantastic job of getting in the way.
He's rounded again for Van der Voort, and he's staying put as well. It's been a disaster for, and he is out. So that's his 4th retirement in a row for Tom Van der Voort. Not good for the Midnight outfit. So another non-score for the English team. But yeah, Rhys Gardner's lost 7 seconds to De Vries. So I'm sure that he's had a moment somewhere as well. The Australian, the American, however, will be thanking his lucky stars. He's back up into P6 as Mike Bell is out as well.
Everyone's going out at the moment.
So 5 out already. We're down to 15 runners and riders.
Remember, Mike Bell is in. I think he's 5th in the championship at the moment, so that's going to hurt his position in that championship.
Brachan's within a second of Brugman now.
It's very close. It's very, very close. Lars is under a lot of pressure at the moment in that Team Proline car. He's the only Team Proline here today, as you said earlier. His teammate Jarl Tyen, who won at the Indy Grand Prix, is not here, and he's looking. You can see it in his driving. He's looking under pressure. He's looking like, he's really trying to keep hold of this car and keep Maurice Brachan behind. It's not looking that comfortable at the moment for Lars Brugman.
Yeah, Brachan with nothing to lose, and I think more importantly, he's got a little bit of a reputation to re-establish, to retake YDF1's first win of the year, so to say, as Van der Wilder's into the pits, and I think now is going to be the pitting phase. Surely we're almost halfway through this race already. Van der Wilder calling it early.
Yeah, I think we've still got a little bit to go, maybe a lap or two before you'll see Lars and Maurice into the pit lane. But you are absolutely right, we are in the pit stop phase. 19 laps to go at this present moment, 15 race laps completed. So we've got a couple more laps before I suspect Brugman and Brachan are in. But as I say, yeah, you are absolutely right, we are in that pit stop window where pitting now, you should be able to make it on these alternate softer tyres. As you can see how hard Maurice Brachan's pushing in that second position. He's getting so close to all of the walls. He's really pushing to catch that first win, as you say, that first win of the season for YTF1 after having it taken away after Indianapolis. That's enough.
Brachan is through. A mistake from Brugman once again. The pressure cracking finally, and the German takes the lead in this Vegas Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's going to be making Matthew Allington very, very happy. The team boss of YTF1 as Lars Brugman enters the pit lane. He's called it quits on those tyres.
Try and get an undercut, surely.
I think so.
And Asbury in behind as well. What about Eastmead? Eastmead goes on. And just looking at P5, Pedro Gomez, who's now 6 seconds behind. Pedro Gomez in as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Lars Brugman's going to come out as he enters his box poorly, interestingly. He's trying hard not to get blocked in by the other cars around him. As Danny Asbury entered his box, even worse. So fantastic job there, Danny. You will be needing the reverse to get out of that one. As Lars Brugman's, he's rejoined just behind Alexander Van der Velde, who is a lap down.
Gardner's just come ahead of him, and that's not a good exit for Lars Brugman. Come out right behind Rhys Gardner, and that is the position. So Rhys does not have to let go if he doesn't want to.
Rhys and Lars are good mates though, so I'm interested to see if Rhys is going to allow Lars passage here. I don't think he will, but maybe he will. We'll see. This is a big moment for Lars though. A big, big moment indeed, as I think Danny might have lost quite a bit of time. No, he's still only 7 seconds off, so I think he's actually just lost that much time to Brugman.
Brachan going round again. And as is Easterbeek, so taking the free air as a blessing in disguise perhaps, thinking, let's make the most of these tyres while we have them in fresh air.
Yeah, it is indeed. As I say, it's Maurice was doing some good lap times as he was cruising up to the back of Lars, so maybe he's pretty confident on those tyres. I think Lars's chance of the win today at the moment has been greatly affected as Rhys Gardner enters the pit lane in front of him, as does Sven de Vries. So 2 more positions back for Lars Brugman, up into the 3rd spot.
30 seconds off the race lead though. Oh wow, that was Sam Jones spinning it Sam Jones spanned right ahead of Maurice Bracan, and that was a very scary moment. Thankfully, no harm done. So the Maurice back out into P6. There's Asbury's out! Asbury's out! So here. I have 3,000 disconnection.
So do I. Yep.
Yeah, that was a disconnection. So
that's such a shame for Danny Asbury.
Another retirement for Danny Asbury. That is a real shame. But I tell you what, as Bracan is in, but I tell you what, for Lars Brugman, he'll be jumping for joy as Ruud Heesbeek is in as well. That means that there is only one walk car that can score now. And that means the Team Pro line is probably safe for another round.
That's such terrible luck, though, for Danny Asbury. I feel for the guy. He's, he's looked good in this championship pace-wise, but that there is terrible luck, unfortunately. But let's keep an eye on Maurice Bracan. Yeah, here he comes. Here
comes Brugman around the final corner.
I don't think he's going to take it.
And Bracan comes out here, and I think he is well ahead, surely. Yeah, I mean, Lars can see Bracan ahead. Don't get us wrong. But that gap, if anything, has extended over the pit stop phase. The German back out into the lead.
I think it was being held up by Rhys Gardner whilst trying to remember. We've got to get these tyres up to temperature. I don't know. I don't think there is any tyre warming devices within this series. I don't think. I think he still has to get those tyres up to temperature, which means Maurice could be struggling on this first lap whilst he's getting his up to temperature. But yeah, I think Lars was more hindered by Rhys Gardner, who was pitting the lap after Brugman. But Lars just needs to not make any mistakes in this run. He's got to get these tyres a lap further or 2 laps further than Maurice Bracan.
I think that's the very interesting part about this. You would think, oh well, Lars in this situation should have the undercut. No, Bracan has not only got the lead, but he's got fresher tyres as well and can clearly make them last longer as well. Lars actually cutting down the gap there to 1 second, so a good opening lap from the Dutchman, but he's got to put in a monumental effort to try and retake the lead of this race as the gap now down to 9 tenths. It looks like he is really on it, isn't he?
I think Lars has to sit here and think to himself very wisely here. Lars is a wise driver, he knows what he's doing. I know he's going to want this win, but what he's got to sit here and think to himself is Maurice is not the threat here. Ruud Heesbeek is the threat, and he is in front of Ruud Heesbeek in this championship and in this race. He will be building that gap. Of course he wants to build that gap as much as possible, and I'm not saying that he's not going to go for this win, but I think there is a fine line between when he can go for it and when he's pushing too hard. And at the moment, in my opinion, as Danny Asbury is actually going to rejoin this race, as I think this is something that we have seen before, rejoin ability within R Factor 2, so we will actually be able to rejoin this and gain a few points for that team. But Lars just has to sit here and say to himself, if pushing too hard is going to cost me, as we've seen before in this race, he's just got to weigh it up to himself, as the gap is 6 tenths of a second. He is pushing quite hard, but he's just got to keep on the right side of that pushing line.
Danny Asbury back out into 12th. That is actually a very good point-scoring position, so it's good to see Danny back, and hopefully he won't have another disconnection as the gap at the front now down to 6 tenths. Brugman very slowly but surely turning the screw.
I'll tell you what's happening though. De Vries is catching Ruud Heesbeek at this present moment in time, so Ruud Heesbeek looking under threat as David Young enters the pit lane. That's going to promote Rhys Gardner into a top 5, which would be a fantastic result for the Hinds Motorsport outfit. And for Rhys Gardner himself.
Gomez is down in 8th.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to him.
I think he had a very slow stop actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he's up there into P7. So actually, Roy Schroeder, his own teammate, has overtaken him as well.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there, but as I say, Rhys Gardner, that would be a great result for what I nickname as Team Australia.
Yeah.
Rhys Gardner running, in a team run by Thomas Hinds. But so it will be a good result for him. I see Lars pushing a little bit too hard, but as I say, that gap's 6 tenths. I don't know how much it's going to change and what it's going to take. I think Lars is the more mistake prone of the two drivers at this moment.
We welcome Oscar Hardwick to the little discussion thread here on Twitter. He predicted before the race a crash between 8th and 13th place into turn 1. Wrong, but did happen later in the lap.
Did.
At least one big knock-up pit entry, which we saw with Menno Clonked, Lars to win. So half a prediction correct, one other prediction correct. We're going to wait and see whether your third prediction there will be correct as well. Brugman now 5/10 away from Maurice Bracan.
Oh, at least he's predicting Lars to win. So he's following my mentality of Lars to win. But Maurice is looking so strong at the moment. You know, he caught that gap back up to Lars once he got past Ruud Heasterbeek and has looked so strong ever since. And just going back to Ruud Heasterbeek, that gap is now 2 seconds between himself and Sven de Vries. So de Vries is catching about a second a lap, or a second every couple of laps. I don't know, really. I've not been paying that much attention. But what is important here, and this would be important for Lars Brugman, that Sven de Vries is catching Heasterbeek.
15 runners and riders here as we head onto lap 24 of 35 in total of this Posti formation lap. There's 4/10 the gap now between Brugman and Bracan, and that is a lot of slipstream that Brugman gobbled up there as we head into turn 2.
Watch out to turn 5.
Looking very close. Who is that lap traffic
Jacobs.
ahead? That is Jacobs. I
TSA.
wonder if he is yet to play a part in this battle for
Watch
the
this
lead.
into turn 5. This could be something into turn 5 coming up. Or is Lars? I think Lars is just going to say I don't think it's close enough at all to get a run. But Lars is looking fast at the moment, which is to be expected. He did do a very fast time earlier on in the qualifying session not too long ago. As Jacobs should be getting out of the way very, very soon because he is in that way.
Yeah.
I would have suggested he should have moved long before
now?
this.
Okay.
I would have liked to have seen him move before that because I think that's hurt Bracan a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. Nevertheless, it seems like it hasn't affected the battle too much. I don't think it's ahead.
Ooh,
Danny
smoky
Asbury is
car.
there. That is Danny Asbury smoking a lot. The two walks have been doing that a lot over the course of this race. If anything, actually, the gap has increased to Brugman by a tenth. So Bracan actually doing quite well here as we head on to lap 25 now. The gap back down. Oh wow, the gap down to 4/10. That final sector, isn't it, where Brugman, fully committed, finds quite a little bit of time on the German. But he's got to find time around the rest of the track really in order to try and make an overtake stick.
Isn't Maurice Bracan Lars Brugman's team manager?
Yes.
Yes.
He is. Yeah, you're right. Well,
I remembered something. These two are running the same setup, I believe.
are they really?
Yes.
Okay.
Sven de Vries entered the pit lane.
Why?
Assuming his tyres couldn't make it, so he's entered the pit lane, promotes Reece Gardner up into the 4th position.
And Roy Schroeting up into 5th, and surely Pedro Gomez up.
Oh,
He's out!
DNF! What happened there?
Must
Can
be
we have a replay of that?
That is
please?
surely a technical difficulty issue then. Let's. I am really not sure.
Don't
what
know
happened
what
here.
happened there.
I have a feeling that it might have been a force feedback issue or a frame rate issue or something along those lines.
I will go and try and get something from Sven about that. So, we'll see.
The Vries out of this race and excruciatingly close as well to scoring points for being classified as well. Only 3 more laps required, or 2 or 3 more laps required, in order to score points. So a real shame for the satellite driver there as the lead is now Bracan and Brugman coming through a lot of traffic. Sam Jones getting out of the way very nicely actually. And next up the road, R04, old Danny Asbury, currently in P12. He will be P11 once he crosses De Vries now. But he's going to have to get out of the way for these leaders who are now very close together. As we head up now to turn 5. Closing more and more on the American are these two. 5/10 the gap. But you must wonder, we know that Brugman uses his tyres harder. That is why he was able to extend his lead so early on in the race. But as this race comes into its final stage, we are on the final 10 laps of this race now. I do wonder whether it is going to get even worse as Danny Asbury gets out of the way very nicely, but actually messes that up horribly as he goes very deep into that turn and has actually allowed Matthew Churgwin through into P12. So a disaster for Danny Asbury, not used to back marking. We know that for sure, but the American down to P13 now and still smoking heavily. That engine does not look like it is in good health at all. As we cross the line with our leaders once again onto lap 27 of 36. They are now classified 4/10 the gap. This one is going to rage on until the bitter end.
Yeah. Bracken!
Oh, yeah.
Lars Bugman's through. Lars Bugman is through to the lead. Bracken makes a mistake at T1, T2 really. Never mind. But Lars Bugman is back through to the lead. Funny enough, I have been talking to Sven de Vries about his DNF. He missed the braking marker into turn 2, hit the wall.
Okay. So
that's why.
Damage, I guess.
It's just a lot of damage on the car, and well, he's not really the one to care.
That's a shame.
But Lars Bugman is back into the lead here at the Fremont Street Circuit, and either way, that incident will be for Sven de Vries will make Ruud Hees to be very, very comfortable indeed, as he is going on to a podium after the DNF at Indianapolis in the Indy Classic. That'll be good for Ruud to bounce back. Lars Bugman, though, trying to maintain his consistency over this championship. I believe he's finished every race in the top 5. The only race he hasn't finished on the podium would be the Indy Classic race. Yes, so he's remaining very, very consistent within this championship. Team boss just behind. Is he going to be able to keep him behind?
So Danny Asprey, by the way, further down the field, has got past Chogan once again, and Paul Joseph has been in the wars as well. He is now in the pit lane, but he's a lap ahead of Asprey, so Asprey still's got to go around one more lap before he can lap Joseph, who's currently in P10. Lots of retirements from this race. Nico Barclay still 8 laps behind, but he's into the pit lane again, Barclay. And I do wonder whether he will be able to get out in time as Bracken right back on it. Look at this. While you were away, I was just saying that Bracken has got the fresher tyres. We know that Brugman, the whole reason why he was able to extend this gap at the first asking there is because he's got a little bit more grip and he's using up his tyres a bit more. Bracken's not only got the pressure tyres, he knows how to make them last. And in that first period before the pit stop, the bit which he caught up on and took the lead of the race was near the end. So I wonder whether he's going to try and respond in the same manner as we near the end of the race in its entirety.
Yeah, we've got 14 riders to go. Or not riders, they're pilots or drivers, however you want to put it. Sim racers, weirdos. Yeah, we've got 14 of them still circulating, and I wonder how close Nico Barclay is to going a lap down. Oh, he's not. I think Nico might be able to go to the end without going another lap down, as we do only have 7 laps to go of this race. It has flown past, and as much as there have been quite a few crashes, it's been like yesterday in the ITC when I came out of that race. It's been cleaner than I expected it to be. Not to say it's been clean, it's just been cleaner than I expected.
It's been more of a barber round, hasn't it, where DNFs have been from the mistakes of people on their own as opposed to poor racing.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Lars Bugman making a mistake there. He needs to calm down. I think he's running a rearward brake bias, and I did tell him before the event that you should move the brake bias a bit further forward, buddy. Evidently not listening to the old Lulu, but he's trying, and he is under a lot of pressure at the moment.
I thought I saw a position change there. Evidently not.
Never mind. Insane. What I will say, position-wise, close on track, Roy Schroeter and Vince Gardner. 5 seconds between the two of them.
Getting very
going
close, aren't they?
Into battle for the 4th position, as the top 7 are the only ones remaining on that lead lap.
Bracken's pushing. Sorry, I want to go back up to Bracken here in P2. He's pushing hard, the German, within 5/10 again. I think he's going to employ the same tactic that he did earlier on.
Keep him under pressure.
Sit behind him.
Yeah.
Sit behind him and let him make a mistake, because he's made a couple this race already, Lars.
Yeah, he has indeed, and that pressure could gift him the winners. I'm sure Lars will be aware that he's just trying to keep him under pressure, but that's not. It's still very easy to react poorly to it as they're coming up to Sam Jones to lap again, and this is where it all gets very, very tense when you're a lead driver and you're coming up to lap a back marker as Sam gets out of the way nicely. But Bracken's so close to the back of the Team Proline driver. This could go down to the wire here at Las Vegas.
On to the final 5 laps of this race as it happens. Sam Jones now incidentally 8 laps down as well. He has another lap before he goes out of the... so let's have a look at the time. Yeah, I think Jones and Barclay should make it as Bracan. Very close, isn't he? Closing right up on the braking into turn 2 there. Right on the back of Brugman once again. But he's got to find his time elsewhere and make the move a bit more definitive, because right now he can't do anything.
No, but next time into the turn 1, turn 2 complex, he could be getting very close. Oh, who is going to win this race? As Maurice Bracan's putting on a fantastic drive at the moment.
This looks a lot more controlled, doesn't it? It's almost like he is in complete control of his car, completely planted to the road. Brugman looking, oh, look at that, as, mind you, and Bracan goes a little tad wide there.
Oh, he's gone a bit wider.
A bit wider, and he's lost a lot of time, mind you, but Brugman, he's looking a bit slimy, to be fair.
Yeah, but, I mean, despite those little mistakes there, I do completely agree with you. Maurice Bracan is driving this race so well. He's made 1 or 2 mistakes over the whole race. Lars has made a few more, but Lars has had a bit more pace, in my opinion. But Maurice has just driven so balanced and so calm, which is, it's great to see. It's a really good quality for a driver to have. But you know, he's, as I say, it's not like Maurice has been driving slowly. Let's just be honest here. He's been driving very quickly, but with that little bit of balance that Lars just hasn't had.
The gap has now extended to 1.2 seconds. Such was the extent of the mistakes made by Bracan in that middle sector last time around. It's come back down to 1.2. It's just gone shy of 1.2. But
makes you wonder if it was Lars's draft that was keeping Maurice there. You know, there's quite a few straights around this circuit. You know, lots of, especially that straight, the start-finish straight. There's a lot of you know, area to suck up to the back of another driver. So, you know, it's I don't know. I'm not trying to take anything away from Maurice here, by the way. He is very fast. Let's see what the gap is. Okay, it's 8 tenths again. So Maurice is catching again. Maurice has better tyre wear. He absolutely has better tyre wear. You know, we saw this on the first stint that this was at the point where Lars started dropping off again, and where Maurice just went, right, I'm taking that lead. And he went for it. You know, Maurice was so fast at this point in the race, where he's still got those tyres there. And again, it's just all that balance.
3 laps to go, including this one. Davijan up ahead forms an extra part of the equation, a little bit of traffic. I am very interested to find out if Bracan may go for a late dive move once he catches up to Brugman again, because he is running out of time rapidly here to take the win.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, 2 at the completion of this one. We're very, very close to the end of this race. As David Junt gets out of the way.
That's nice, yeah.
Nicely done, yeah.
But up next, actually, is Nico Barclay. And
he's very close.
Barclay here. He's trying to get past Paul Joseph, who's very slow, actually, Paul. He lets Barclay through. And Paul Joseph, what will he do? He's going to have the leads coming up at a very fast pace here now. 4 tenths the gap once again. Bracan is right on it. And now they've got Paul Joseph here in traffic as well. Brugman gets through. Bracan gets through.
He's going to go defensive.
He's going defensive, Brugman. Bracan around the outside. He's going to try the undercut in turn 1. He's going to go around the outside of turn 1. Into turn 2.
It's not going to work.
Brugman gives him plenty of room. Great racing between these two. Bracan's intent is very clear. 2 laps to go.
I think Barclay's going to have to call this. Yeah, Barclay's called it. That's a shame. Barclay's not going to score any points today's event, which is a shame because he's gone to this point in the race. However, 2 laps to go. 1 at the end of this one. We're approaching that final lap of the race. Is Maurice Bracan going to be able to get past Lars Brugman and take the lead of this race, take the win? For lots to look forward to over the next not really far above 90 seconds. So this is going to come fast. It's going to come quick. And who is going to be crossing that checkered flag, the start finish line first? It's going to be very interesting to see.
Bracan really riding out to the edge, isn't he? Trying to get as much time as possible. Surely his best chance is to get a good run through the chicane now. And I noticed that Sam Jones is actually in the pits as well. So Sam Jones, after all this time, might not be scoring any points either. Bracan flying through the chicane.
Yeah, there he goes. This could be it.
Sam Jones not going to score any points either today. Here goes Braccan around
Very
the
close.
outside. Rugman going defensive. Braccan's going to have to break late.
Oh, contact.
Contact between the two. Rugman goes into turn 2 okay. Braccan follows. Very close racing. It is going to be a do or die maneuver from Braccan to secure the win of this race. I am really not sure who's going to come out on top. As Roy Schroten's out with engine failure. Unbelievable. It's all kicking off here in the final lap of Fremont Street Circuits, the Vegas Grand Prix. Into turn 5 we go now with Ruckman and Braccan, the German, right on the Dutchman's tail. Surely it's going to have to be a late stab from the YDF1 driver to get anything of a sniff of this race win. He's right there, he's tantalisingly close, but he can't find any way through just yet. Up into turn 10 we go now with these.
He's made a mistake. He's spun. He's hit the wall.
Oh, and that is game over.
That's confirmed it for Lars Brugman.
Braccan. Oh, it was a great battle though. Wonderful to see, and ultimately Maurice Braccan pushing just a little bit too hard. Couldn't make it stick. Brugman able to coast to the line. Our championship leader extends his championship lead. He becomes our 4th different winner in the Atlantic Series. He wins the Vegas Grand Prix in true style. Applause to Maurice Braccan for putting up such a wonderful fight. He comes home P2. Ruth Easterby, a long way behind, will take home P3 for Walk Racing. Just wasn't on the pace today. Well, coming home 4th, Reece Gardiner. What a day it has been for the Australian. Just missed out on the top 6, just missed out on the podium, but I'm sure he'll take a 4th no matter what. Pedro Gomez, 3rd in the championship, will take in P5 with David Janssen unlikely 6th. Thomas Jacobs on his Atlantic Series debut will come in P7 with Alexander van der Wouter coming
What
home
a drive.
P8.
What a
Great drive
drive.
from the back of the grid, Alexander. Roy Schroten, despite having an engine failure at the last, still scores points in P9. Paul Joseph takes home another top 10 for the mighty force of Danny Asbury P11. Matthew Churgren will take home P12. And though they did finish this race, Nico Barclay and Sam Jones P13 and 14 are not classified. Your retirements from this race were Sven de Vries, Tom van der Voort, Mike Bell, Sherwin van der Sloot, Menno Klont, and Yuri Bescope.
Wow, yeah, that was to say what I was expecting from this round. That was a lot better. That was really those last laps. Wow, what a fantastic drive from Lars Brugman. Really well done.
And I think a fair shout to Maurice Braccan as well, who took the lead of this race, but ultimately couldn't hold it. I guess it was 2 inexperienced drivers really in terms of winning race wins. Maurice has not won here at GPVWC. Lars has, but hasn't won much in his sim racing career. Ultimately, I guess you get that confidence of being the championship leader and thinking, I'm going to be gaining more points than my championship rivals here if I do take this race win. He put Maurice under enough pressure to retake the lead, and then ultimately he was able to defend long enough so that Maurice made a mistake himself. And it was a wonderful battle between the two of those as well, really showing off what this Atlantic Series is made of.
Yeah, it was good to watch. That was a good round, I feel. Other than the odd mistake here and there from a lot of drivers that cost others stuff, all that kind of stuff that we expect round to round. But a good fight for the lead. Some things happened that were a bit of a shame, like De Vries DNFing, and of course Roy Schroten, the start accident, on that first lap. But ultimately, it was a good round to watch. It was just an all round good round. So it was a nice one for me to return to commentary on.
Absolutely. So I believe we have someone in the room now. It is Mr. Reece Gardner. Well, not on the podium, but certainly worth saying in terms of single team outfits. Reece, you've done yours proud. A P4 to follow up a P7 in qualifying. You must be chuffed with yourself.
Oh, chuff doesn't even begin to describe it, guys. Wow, that was an incredible race for me. It was a bit eventful at the start, with Sven spinning in front of me and me having nowhere to go. But other than that, I just had to keep my head on and just nail all my marks. And it was a pretty good race.
Now, obviously, half of the issue with these single man teams, it's Yeah, it's a joke, don't worry. Obviously, you've only got just yourself to score the points. It adds a bit more pressure onto you. Not only that, but obviously you're getting less points in overall since you are the only guy scoring them. With Hinz Motorsport, how far do you think you guys can go? Do you have a specific target for this year? Or are you just taking each race as it comes, sort of bed yourself in and maybe hoping for a bit more in future years to come? I'm interested to know your guys' plans on that front.
Well, I'm basically doing this majorly on my own. Thomas is providing me with some support, but I am doing the setup work and driving and all that by myself. So I'm not sure. I'm just taking each race as it comes and just making sure that I can get some good results for Mr. Hinz.
Well, you certainly got a good one today. Since there's no one else waiting for interviews just yet. Next up on the calendar is Mid-Ohio, Reese. It's a little bit wider than Fremont Street Circuit, thankfully. And of course, it's the place where we were testing these Atlantic Series cars in the preseason. A good track for you, hoping for a similar sort of result in 2 weeks' time?
I actually despise Mid-Ohio. It's one of my least favourite racetracks ever. So I think it'll just be damage control for me next round, but who knows? I was thinking that this round would be damage control, and look what happened. So I don't know. I'll just see what happens, but hopefully I get into the top 10 again.
We certainly hope that as well. Just a little correction, sorry, it's not in 2 weeks, round 5 at
It's in
Mid-Ohio. It's in 6, in August.
Oh, it's quite a break.
Quite a break indeed. So anyway, congratulations on your results, Reese. Well deserved. As we will now, we've got the top 2 in here with us. A wonderful battle. Let's start with Maurice first of all. Oh, so close, but so far, Maurice. A wonderful race between you two. I'm guessing that knowing that YDF1 had lost a win from a technical infringement last time out, you were hoping to regain some honor for the team, take that win. Alas, it wasn't to be.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, the whole race. I was a little bit lucky because of Lars and Ruud, I think, made mistakes. But yeah, in the end, I knew I might have a chance on the last lap if I stay close to him, maybe start finish line. But yeah, I went a little bit too wide in the corner and yeah.
Now I know for sure that you are looking very strong around Mid-Ohio pre-season. Now that you know that you've sniffed a race win, you've led laps in the Atlantic Series, do you now have the confidence to go on and think, I fancy one of these race wins, I'm going to take one in the remaining 4 rounds?
It would be nice for sure, but yeah, I think street circuit suits me way better, so we will see what happens in Mid-Ohio, but yeah, I would love to win here. Because, I don't know, I like street circuits, I love them in Air Factor 1, I still love them, so I think that's why I was so fast today. The setup was good all the way, so yeah, we will see what happens in Mid-Ohio.
Well, we shall see indeed, and congratulations on your second either way. And now, Lars Brugman, you got that win, but you worked yourself pretty hard for it, didn't you?
Yeah, I made a few too many mistakes during that race, and but it was good fun to have a battle. The battle with Maurice was clean and hard fought, I would say.
Now, of course, the crucial results considering is you've extended your gap to everyone behind you. Ruud used to be getting P3, and Pedro Gomez getting P8, I think, something along those lines. Anyway. So you've extended your gap even further. You've now got this break between rounds 4 and rounds 5. Are you going to be doing anything in particular in this break which sort of calms you down? Or are you going to reassess your goals or where you're heading for the final 4 rounds? Because, of course, it's a long time to be sitting on top as championship leader there in the standings.
I'm just not going to do anything different, really. Just gonna keep doing as I was and see how it goes.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say. Well, anyway,
Exactly.
congratulations on your first win and indeed pole position of the season, Lars. A wonderful battle between yourself and Maurice. So, as we've been just talking about there, it is a long break until the next round. It's 6 weeks or so 4th of August is the date. Note down in your diaries, and it is the Lexington Grand Prix. We're heading to Mid-Ohio, and that is a wonderful track, Lewis, of fast corners. I think it is. There's fast corners, slow corners, elevation changes. It's the whole lot.
Yeah, no, sorry, I don't know what track we've been driving.
Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a joke, all right.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan
Fine.
of Mid-Ohio. I've not done the best work there, but it's a fun, tight little circuit. I suppose lots of throwing it around. We did a bit of preseason testing in these cars there, so but obviously it was a different car back then because older mod. But it's a fun little circuit. It'll be an interesting one when it comes to tyre management, because obviously you say about the high speed and stuff like that. You got turn 1 and the second to last turn there, both very, very harsh on the front tyres, as well as many corners around that track. So the tyre wear there is going to be very interesting. But obviously that is in 6 weeks' time. Not sure who's going to be on commentary for it, but either way, I'll be watching, not driving. But no, it'll be a good one to watch. I must say, I've enjoyed watching and commentating on this a lot more than I ever did driving it.
It's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a good way to return.
Fast series, fast cars, and we certainly hope that you are steadfast in sticking around for the next 2 weeks of racing action at home. Join us tomorrow around the same time for the Hungarian Sports Series. And then on Thursday, we return to the World GT Series. We have the Portuguese GT Cup at the Circuit Algarve. And then next week is off to Hungary before the summer break, Open Series and Formula Challenge on the Tuesday, Super Cup on the Wednesday, and of course the Hungarian Grand Prix Super League on the Thursday. And then we're taking a break because even sim racers need to go to the toilet. So I'll take these final few moments to thank my wonderful cameraman for tonight, Mr. Cameron Brewster, #Cams for doing a lovely job and getting around the awful sound issues that we're having. To my co-commentator for tonight, Lewis McGlade, a one-off return, maybe, perhaps a permanent return. Who knows with him? I've been James Kirk, and from all of us here, it's a very warm goodbye.